Interviews with business owners and veteran executives who share their wisdom and expertise to help you de-stress, free up time, and make more money. Profits of IT. Welcome back to the Profits of IT. I am Jim Punzenberger, your host, and the founder and creator of the Managed Prospecting System. If you're looking to generate leads and appointments through hyper-personalized outreach without cold calling, spamming, or ad spend, check out managedprospectingsystem.com. I'm excited that I have Jack with me today. Jack, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Jim, super excited to be here. Thank you for having me on the podcast. Jack Jackson, 20-year veteran, building channel organizations, out of California here. Father of 4 wonderful kids, and thank you for inviting me on the podcast.
Glad to have you here. So, tell us a little bit about the company that you currently work for, and what do they do within the channel?
Yeah, amazing. I work for a company called Instructure. They're a global LMS solution, learning management software platform. So really bringing education online and to you're taking the classroom and putting it, online. And it's an amazing company, publicly traded organization. I manage their global channel sales team, along with some other business units within that channel organization. Referral programs and such. They're based in Utah. I think we have about 1,200 employees, but just an amazing company, going to market aggressively globally in the channel, really understands the value of distributors, understands the value of value-added resellers, system integrators, referral partners, online partner managers, all those type of things. So a very fantastic company. I'm heading up the charge to build out their global channel program.
Sounds exciting time for the company. And so, Jack, question for you: what's something interesting about yourself outside of work?
I have a pretty OCD type personality. So I wake up every morning at 4:30, run 5 miles. I started a thing called the 5 at 5 in my neighborhood, and so I've got multiple neighbors now trying to do it. And on board, I think there's like 7 or 8 neighbors on board right now doing this 5 at 5 thing. So it just started with me, and then every few months somebody else would join. So that's something there as well. And I'm training for an ultra marathon here. I was hoping to do one last year.
So how far is an ultra marathon for those that don't know?
Yeah, it's so I think it's technically anything after a marathon, but it goes anywhere from after a marathon up to 200 plus miles, right? I think the Moab 210, 215.
So what's the
one of
distance you're training for?
50. I'm going to
50
try for
miles?
50, yeah, 50-mile marathon. So I've signed up for the Marin County, the Headlands 100, and so I'll do the 50 miler there.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
so that's basically a double marathon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
Absolutely.
That sounds like your legs will be sore after that.
Yeah, absolutely, Jim. Absolutely.
And what do you say is your superpower when it comes to business, and what can others learn from it and gain from that? And how can they apply that in their lives and their businesses?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think when you look at superpowers, I think being able to assess talent, I think is and your own, right? Being able to have honest conversations with yourself about your skill set, as well as the folks who work for you, work alongside you, and you work for, is really important. That really understanding the empathy behind folks, understanding the kindness and respect that you can share with folks and their skill set. Early in my career, I was a little bit of a tougher leader. I kind of held everybody to a standard that I felt that I needed to have. And I think as you grow in your career and you work alongside people, really understanding the team members around you, the folks above and below you in the org chart, and really understanding their skill sets and what they bring to the table, appreciating that, I think is a really important part of work, right, and success. I think with that brings, so many other advantages. Organizational health. I think it brings a real true set of transparent feedback, open and honest communication, failing quickly. All the books that you read about come right back to that same skill set of that success factor of understanding what folks can do, what they can't do, what drives and what motivates them, and then really having empathy to drive their career and help them. I would think that's one of my bigger superpowers. If you ask folks who have worked with me, for me, or I worked for, is really bringing that is really, really important.
Cool. So really it's knowing your people, knowing what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, and helping them excel.
Absolutely.
So if I'm maybe a younger executive, or this is an area that I may be weak in and want to grow and better myself, do you have any tips for me to do that?
Yeah, I think start with kindness, start with respect, start with kindness. Don't make your career a chess game. It's interesting. I sat down with our CEO, who's a super accomplished, Steve Daly, super accomplished CEO, and I said to him that question. I said, Steve, what would you give to me, a more seasoned leader, executive in a publicly traded company who's had some pretty, big accomplishments? What would you recommend to me? And his words were, just have fun and enjoy it. Everything else will come. And so as a young executive, I would tell you, that kindness, that respect for others is really important. Being open and honest with your skill set, I think is really open and honest. And then mentoring other folks really helps you solidify yourself as a leader, and it's different from being a manager, right? It's, managing people is completely different being a leader, the ability to inspire, the ability to help bring your team up. When I join new organizations, I immediately assess the team, career paths, what can I do, what motivates them, what can I do to really help them grow and be challenged in the role they're in, and how do I help them and challenge them to get to the next role that they want to be in. And any junior executive out there that's kind of struggling with, how do I make the leap into more of a seasoned SVP role, or a CRO role, or a seasoned senior VP role with a big organization, you really got to ask yourself, how many people have you really brought up? How many people have you mentored? How many people have you were able to promote into bigger positions? And that'll give you a really good baseline of where you're at as a leader. And it's interesting, as you go to different companies and different organizations and take on different challenges, you see people. Every time I change jobs, I see somebody come to me, and I get half a dozen to a dozen people saying, hey, I want to work for you, I want to come work for you, Jack, I want to come work for you. And I think that's that skill set that you look back and you go, that's what you're missing as a junior executive. It's not what you see on TV, right? So that would be one big piece of advice.
Got it. And any other tips related to this?
Yeah, I think as an executive, a lot of folks shy away from the numbers. And I think, one thing that I've learned over the years, especially being in sales, a lot of sales guys rely on their personality, they rely on their outgoingness and their charm, and really being able to dive into the finance, the numbers, work across different organizations, collaborate, business modeling across those organizations, really understand what drives finance, what is their mission, what drives operations, what drives marketing, what drives product and engineering in your organization. Really understanding those type of drivers is really, really important. And don't shy away from those details. Don't shy away from the numbers. Those folks have goals to hit too. And building those bridges across the organization really, really, really helps you become successful. Those folks feel that you're invested. They feel that you understand their business. And so they're more willing to help you. They trust you. So as a junior executive, you go, hey, man, I'm just going to rely on my personality and just trying to hit the quota. That gets you only, it makes you a salesperson. But to be a leader, to be an executive, to really understand how to inspire people, you really got to work across all business lines in the organization. You got to build that trust. And the way you do that is to really invest in understanding those different lines of businesses, challenges and goals and all those type of things. And I think that's really important, Jim.
Got it. And so question for you, I guess 30-second elevator pitch. Who's a great partner for you guys, and why should they be doing business with you?
It's interesting. We're just beginning to build the channel, right? As I look across the global landscape of potential distributors and partners, which we're talking to right now, obviously, the big guys for distribution that we'll be reaching out to, the Ingram Micros, the Tech Datas, the Synexes of the world is definitely one of them. Some of my favorite near and dear to my heart partners of the DMR side of things really are the SHIs, the CDWs, the soft choices of the world. The software ones of the world are just fantastic partners. They really care about their customers. They really want to do the right thing. But near and dear to my heart are those value added resellers, right? Those folks that are sub 100 million, sub 50 million dollar resellers, that they really do provide that value added, above and beyond support. They're a trusted advisor to that customer, them. They know each other. They're local. They might be family friends even. They know their families, and
Hmm.
those kind of resellers are just really the bread and butter. It really makes my job exciting, and that's really what we're driving them to do. So as we build this global channel, as we do these wonderful things, we have everybody is as a company this size who doesn't have a channel, there's all this attraction. We own the market. We own a lot of markets here around the world, and to build that channel is something really special. So to be able to have the opportunity to work with those partners in those different regions is really, really exciting.
It sounds like it. And so why should they be your partner then?
Yeah, no, it's great. We're building out a real innovative channel program. I mean, it's going to have kind of, the traditional bells and whistles of deal registration and all those kind of things, but we really want to build a two-way conversation with our partners, right? We really want to build that two-way conversation where we understand almost immediate feedback from our resellers and from our DMR partners and our distributors. We really want to understand and have our finger on the pulse in the channel. What is driving them? It's not always just about that margin. It's not always about winning that opportunity. A lot of it is that long-term goal of building that tight organic growth and that relationship with those partners. So we're really going to change that around. So there'll be lucrative benefits that you always get everywhere else, and the deal reg and all those kind of wonderful things that go within a channel program. But we're really going to build this kind of two-way communication, and I think it's going to be something very innovative in the channel as we move forward. And I'm excited to see how it plays out globally. So far, the feedback in our initial conversations with partners around the world are just they're really blown away by that. They get a seat at the table and a voice.
That's a great thing. Any closing remarks here before we say goodbye?
Yeah, Jim, I look at the channel industry, and I say this a lot, and I get this question, probably once a month. What makes a channel successful? What makes a channel fail? And most really the question is what makes a channel fail? There's three things that really, and we talked about this earlier. The three things that I've noticed from everything we talked about this, from GE to Hewlett Packard to all these different organizations, really is that investment. People ask me all the time, CEOs ask me, Jack, what can I do to build my channel, hyper growth, those type of things. And number one is really that investment. And when we talked about this earlier, investing in the right headcount, getting the right people to lead that team, somebody with an entrepreneurial garage, builder startup mentality that really wants to go up there and build a business within a business, and to give them really all the investment and resources they need to do that. And then number two really is making a big deal of stuff, right? Let the organization inside know, everybody in the organization, outside the organization know, hey, we're diving deep into this channel program. We're invested. We're going a million miles an hour, and that does bring some exposure, right? And a lot of executives and boards sit back and they go, well, I don't know if I want to make a big deal. What happens if we fail? We'll have egg on our face. And I really think that the upside to that bet is so much better, of letting partners know, well, no, we're all in. We're willing to stick our neck out there and say we are a channel company. We're driving the channel, and we're doing that. Is a big part of that. And then you get buy-in from the direct teams, and you get buy-in from marketing and everybody else internally. Everybody knows we're going in that same direction. And then finally, the third piece of that is just the autonomy, right? Allowing a skilled channel leader do what they have to do to be successful. Let them build the plan. Let them understand the marketplace. Every organization is different. Every market is different, and really allow them to sit back assess the market on their own and build a business plan that makes sense to go after and grab that market share, I think is really important. So the executives out there, the business owners out there, the people who are really looking at new ventures and really trying to understand how do I build the channel, I would caution them against those three things to make sure those three things are top of mind and at the forefront of what they're trying to do. And if it's not, they shouldn't even try. The odds are that that channel will fail.
Got it. Well, Jack, thank you for your time today and sharing such great insights.
Thank you,
It's
Jim.
been great having you on here, and look forward to learning more about you guys. And as you continue to grow your channel, it'll be interesting to see you guys as you continue to grow.
Thank you, Jim. It was a pleasure. It was really fun. I appreciate it. I look forward to coming on again.
My pleasure also. You have a great day, and until next time, bye for now.
Take care, Jim. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Profits of IT. Please smash that like button, subscribe, and share.